Hello and welcome. Today I'm flying home to Melbourne on Jetstar. But first, I'm starting this journey off at HARS Aviation Museum with AJ Aviation. I'll leave his channel below. We flew to Sydney that morning and I'll have that video in the iCard. Now that we are at Sydney Airport, let's go check in. This is the flight board. It says our flight's on time. Little do we know, later on our flight is going to be delayed. Since it's school holidays, the airport is hustling and bustling with people, but at Sydney, I recommend coming at least 2 hours before your flight, or even 2.5 hours. Check-in with Jetstar is simple. You just type in your name and select your flight, and it spits out your boarding pass, and you're done within 2 minutes. Jetstar has also changed the check-in, boarding and bag drop times by 5 minutes. Check-in closes 45 minutes before departure. This is the other side of the check-in area. It is so quiet compared to Jetstar's area. So here we are past security at Sydney Airport T2. There are loads of food outlets and shops to choose from and many seating areas. This is our aircraft arriving 18 minutes late from Melbourne. A Jetstar A320 VH-VQH. Unfortunately, boarding was only supposed to be half an hour late, but it ended up being an hour late. And I couldn't film boarding, sorry.
1 hour later.
Tonight, so we do ask for your help in only placing that one large bag, wheels first into the overhead locker. All small bags, such as backpacks, handbags, shopping bags, they're only to go under the seat in front of you, please. If you do have any of those items in the overhead locker, we do ask you to retrieve those and place those only under the seat in front of you. Unless, of course, you are seated at an emergency exit rotating rows 1, 12 and 13, where all your carry-on and loose items do need to be in the overhead locker for takeoff and landing. So once again, please, backpacks, handbags, small bags are to go only under the seat in front of you. Thank you.
Let's go through the seat features. You have a menu, a safety card, 2 air sickness bags, a non-foldable tray table that you can move back and forth. Legroom is okay for the short 1 hour flight. A seat block in front of you, you can put your personal items in there, and this is the view from 24A. You also have a standard overhead panel with individual reading lights, flight attendant call bell, and individual air vents.
For warm tropical Melbourne. My name's it's your jacket. My name's Mark, your cabin manager for tonight's flight, and on behalf of the whole crew, it's an absolute pleasure to welcome you on board. We do apologise for the delay in getting into Sydney and getting out. We just had some passengers that just needed some extra time boarding and disembarking, so thank you so much for your patience, really do appreciate it. Good news is everybody's on board here now, so we'll be on our way just as soon as we can. Now flying us down to Melbourne tonight is Captain John Bilcher. Alongside him is First Officer Callum Angelovich. We have a flight time of 1 hour and 16 minutes. Friendly reminder, of course, that smoking or use of e-cigarettes is not permitted anywhere on board. Please ensure that your electronic devices are now in flight mode, and all devices such as mobile phones may be used during takeoff, as long as they are in flight mode, of course, but all other larger devices such as laptops do need to be switched off and stored away now, please. And if you are travelling with little ones tonight, do take extra care when laying that armrest. Once again, thanks for your patience. We'll be on our way very shortly. Once again, welcome on board. Thank you, cabin crew. Please arm your doors. phone. It is very important that you are familiar with the safety features of this aircraft, so please watch the crew member closest to you and do listen carefully. Thank you.
Hello again. We want you to have a safe and enjoyable flight. So please listen closely while we take you through the safety requirements for our Airbus A320. Your crew are highly trained to help keep you safe, so make sure you listen to and follow their instructions. As we get underway, please make sure your personal electronic devices are in a flight safe mode or otherwise completely switched off.
Don't fall out, causing injury to you or a fellow passenger. And we'll shortly be coming through the cabin with our in-flight service. You'll find a menu in your seat pocket which does contain a variety of options. Now on tonight's flight, as it is the last flight of a very long day, we're pleased to offer half-price specials. We do have some ham and cheese toasties, the chicken wraps, the home-style sandwich pack, and the vegetarian duo pack, as well as the pie and sausage roll packs. They're all half price at $5.50. So once again, the toasties, the chicken wraps, the sandwich pack, the vegetarian duo pack, personal favourite, and the meat pie sausage roll family pie pack, they're all half price at $5.50. So if you would like one of those, please speak to one of the crews as we come through. Just bear in mind that stock is a little bit limited, so we do apologise in advance if your first option isn't available. Now we do only accept credit cards as payment. We accept all major credit cards, but please be mindful that we do require a physical card for your purchase today. So if you do need to get those cards out from bags in the overhead locker, please do so as soon as the seatbelt sign is switched off and before we begin our service. Now please sit back, relax and enjoy tonight's flight down to Melbourne. If the crew or myself can give any assistance at all, please don't hesitate to ask. Thank you. Just want the delay on our service this evening and pass on a few flight details for you. Just cruising at 26,000 feet or just on 8
kilometres high. Expecting a reasonably smooth run down to Melbourne, and just fairly strong winds aloft, so we're just staying a little bit lower than usual. Truck takes us over Canberra shortly, and then over the high country to Melbourne. Landing to the east of Melbourne due to light northeasterly breeze there. So on those indications, we should have you touching down at about 5 minutes to midnight and disembarking shortly thereafter. Weather there's fine 10 degrees. And take the opportunity now, thank you for flying with us. Despite delay, trust us not inconvenienced you too much, but we do look forward to being of service. And next you choose to fly, and a very good evening to you all. Thanks for your attention.
As it was a night flight, I didn't feel much unfortunately, and I didn't get anything to eat or drink as I've already eaten before the flight. Before we land into Melbourne, let's include this flight. Let's start off at the airport. Check-in was fast and simple. The ground staff first announced boarding to be 30 minutes late, but it ended up being an hour behind schedule. By the time we took off, it ended up being 53 minutes behind schedule. The crew on today's flight were very friendly, even the cabin manager. But one of the crew at the back wasn't in the best of moods. I've had this cabin manager once before, and I'll upload that video later on. For your information, I paid $132 one-way ticket for this flight. Jetstar was the cheapest out of all the airlines that does this route. Virgin was $209, Rex was $152, and Qantas was $150. Thank you for sticking this far in the report. I hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you in my next one. See ya.
Beautiful Melbourne, everybody. The local time is just gone 11:55 p.m. Firstly, Jetstar would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the local lands, the Wiradjuri people. We'd also like to pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. Please do keep your seatbelt fastened and remain seated until the seatbelt sign has been switched off. Smoking, vaping and e-cigarettes are strictly prohibited as you disembark on the tarmac and inside the terminal building. Before you head off, double check you've got everything with you, please, and be careful when opening those overhead lockers as items may have moved during the flight. that may fall out, causing injury to you or a fellow traveller. Please take any face masks or wipes, whether used or unused, off the aircraft with you. Now, if your phone is within reach, you can switch it off flight mode now. Just remember though that you are not to use your phones at all as you're walking across the tarmac. Thank you so much for flying with Jetstar today. It's been an absolute pleasure to bring you down to Melbourne. If you are visiting this beautiful city, we do hope you enjoy your stay. And if you are lucky enough to live here like we are, welcome home. Thanks again everyone, and enjoy the rest of the 4 minutes of the evening here in Melbourne. Thank you.
Hi everyone, from the flight deck, welcome to Melbourne. Unfortunately we waiting on the flight, the ground staff to marshal us into a final parking position. So just ask you to remain seated thanks to we come to a final parking position. The seatbelt sign has been switched off. Thank you. Very good evening to you all.
Cabin crew, disarm doors. Again, everyone, please, for your safety and those around you, please remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the captain switches off the seatbelt sign. Thank you.